Hi everyone, I'm Delathar Draven, and I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit about how I became free to be and wanted to kind of help you guys with understanding where I started my journey, where I really felt I started my journey that led me on the path to being here and making videos for you guys, despite the fact that I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen in my life. Right now, I'm just kind of waiting and being patient and making videos for you guys, even though my life is kind of scary right now. I'm in a rough patch in my life right now, and I'm still wanting to make videos for you guys, and I want to be a positive light, and I want to remain a positive and happy driving force despite the fact that right now my life seems a little dark. And so I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about how I got started and how I'm basically managing to keep positive during these times. And it was through a book called The Four Agreements. Most of us, I'm sure, have had a time where we were misunderstood, our intent was misunderstood, and we misunderstood the intent of another person, whether it was someone we loved, a friend, or even just a coworker. And during that time, maybe you guys got frustrated, maybe somebody got hurt, maybe somebody took things personally. And what if we had just taken an extra moment to clarify, ask a couple extra questions so that that didn't happen? So we had a scenario where the communication was clear and nobody misunderstood what was going on. And the source of which I found the beginning that put me on this entire path was The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I'm going to go a little over what the Four Agreements are and tell you a little bit about them, and then kind of tell you about where it brought me. The Four Agreements are: be impeccable with your word, and this means speaking with truth, love, and integrity to yourself and to others. Being kind to yourself, not speaking down about yourself, not gossiping about others, not listening to gossip about yourself, and knowing who you are. The second one is don't take anything personally. Nothing anyone does is because of you. Everything that anyone does is because of their own dream and their own reality. Another way to think of that is, good or bad, what anybody thinks of you is none of your business. So don't take anything personally. Recognize, that is their dream and move on. The third agreement is don't make any assumptions. And this one is a really, really big one, and it can be one of the most challenging ones for a lot of people. Not making any assumptions means being willing to clarify, being willing to ask questions, being willing to double check your information to make sure you knew what was going on, and then still not assuming that you know everything there is to know about a given situation. The fourth agreement, and I feel is the most important one, because it puts all of the action behind the other three agreements, is to always do your best. And understand that doing your best changes from moment to moment. It changes when you're healthy. It changes when you're sick. It changes when you're hungry. Always doing your best is, some days you can do everything you set out to do, and some days you need a couple hours of rest. And as long as you always know you're doing your best, especially with what you know how at the time, then you save yourself from self-judgment, abuse, and regret, because you know in your heart that you're always doing your best. The book, The Four Agreements, was given to me in 2009 by my crew leader, Doria Martin. What I find funny now is at the time when she was handing me the book and telling me that I should read it, I told her that I was never going to read it. I told her, don't give me this book. I'm never going to read it. And she said, send it back to me when you do. And I held on to that book for 8 years. And in 2017, I was homeless in the state of Oregon. And in July, I got into Safe Spot Camping, which is a transitional housing camp for those wishing to get off the streets. And I was allowed and blessed with the opportunity to go to one of my favorite pirate events, which is called Sea Dog Days and Gypsy Nights. And it was actually there that I decided to go ahead and start reading the book. I got through the first 2 chapters, the first 2 agreements, and I just immediately started to realize that this book held so many answers to questions that I had had and questions that I didn't even know that I'd had. And I already could tell immediately just from putting those agreements, the first 2 agreements, always be impeccable with your word, and then don't take anything personally. My life was already changing. I was already happier. I was enjoying the event much more than I had been. I noticed that my friends were responding to me a lot better. I noticed that my loved ones actually wanted to hear what I said. And I realized this was the dream. This is what I had wanted. It was better communication. It took me a couple more months before I finally finished the book. And I won't ever forget the time that I finally finished it, because I was here in the apartment that you see me recording this video in. I was no longer homeless. I had just met my new partner. I was about to be able to get my surgery and my hysterectomy, And I finally finished the book, and I started to understand that I could change everything I had gone through. I could stop the abuse. I could stop living in pain. I would be able to talk and communicate in the way that I needed to the most. Proper communication was the one thing I had been striving for my entire life, and I found it in this book. I finished this book, and all I could think about was I need to start telling everybody about this book. My partner and I bought several extra copies of the book to start handing out to our friends, and so now I am here wanting to make these videos for you guys because reading that book, I wanted to share with the world and with you guys that you can live in a personal heaven. You can be free of judgment, of self-judgment, of self-abuse. You can be free of the abuse of others. You could just learn to live in your own personal heaven and to feel your own personal light and to just know your being and really be free to be. Word of mouth and person to person just wasn't enough. And that's why I'm here making videos for you guys, is because I want to share this light with you guys. I want to share this hope and these dreams, and I want you guys to be able to find the answers that you guys have been looking for, and in hopes that we all can come to this better world where we are all happier, where we're all communicating in a better manner, where we're all filled with joy, where there aren't any misunderstandings, where we're not misunderstood, where we don't misunderstand another, where there's no frustration of, oh, well, you told me this, but I didn't, or that was not what I meant. We can avoid all of that and go, hey, did we do this? No, this is what happened, da 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 da. Okay, like, I remember this, what happened here. Oh, okay, so this happened here. And we clarify, and we ask, and we put our stories together, and we start to understand where we need to go, and then there's no frustration. And then we don't also fear the opinions of others. We respect their own being. We respect that they have their reality, they have whatever they have gone through, and they have their understanding. Each one of you can hear this story, will hear this tale, and you'll have a different feeling. It'll reach you in a different way, and it'll mean something different to each and every one of you. And that's amazing, and that's beautiful. And I want to be able to hear your guys' stories, and I want to be able to communicate with you guys. And I want you guys to be able to communicate with others. And that's what I want to do for this community, is to share what I have gone through in my life in hopes to help you guys. In hopes that it'll help you find your answers and help you grow by me growing and sharing my growth with you guys. And so if you guys have any questions about the 4 agreements, if you guys have read the 4 agreements and you would like to share how it impacted your life or how you found it, I would love to know. I would love to hear your guys' stories and to know where you guys came from, how you found the book, what it told you, what were the answers that you found. How did it impact your life? I want to know that. I would love to know. I will be reading all comments for this video. And if you guys want to follow me on my daily tidbits, on my journey and my growth, I post daily on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram. Please feel free to follow me. Links are down in the description below. And if you guys have a moment, you like where I'm going with my channel, and you guys want to support me, I do have a Patreon. I will also have a link to that in the description below. Please feel free to support me if you want. If not, please subscribe to my channel. Please leave a comment, let me know. Tell me how I can do better. I would love to hear from you guys. And as always, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, be free to be.